In what scenarios does the IRS return their withholding, and what is the percentage of that return?
In most scenarios, the IRS will return the money minus the taxes that are owed. Here in the United States, LLCs do not pay taxes. Remember, we said that at the beginning. It is the owners who pay taxes at the individual level. So there is an LLC with two owners, as the example as before. Each one will receive the profits of the company is $100,000. There are two owners, each one owns 50%. They will receive $50,000 each. $100,000 profits, 50% each. They will receive $50,000 divided into each of them. Now, with that money, they will go and file a federal income tax return, personal income tax return. And on that, with those $50,000, they will be subject to the personal income tax rate. Personal income tax rate vary from 10% through 35%. The larger the income, the higher the percentage. But it does not mean that if, for example, if at 10, 12%, if at 12%, say 12, 20, if at 20%, for example, if you make $50,000 and just to give you an example, $50,000, that's what you receive from the LLC. And the percentages for $50,000 is 18% or 17%. You are not going to pay 17% over the 50 because the escalation of the escalation rate of the taxes either start at 10%. So for the first portion from zero to, if you're a single, from 0 to 10% to $10,000, you will pay 10%. From 10,000 to 40,000, you will pay 15%. From 40,000 to 80,000, you will pay 25%. So it goes by tranches. The higher the income, the larger the tax return, or the larger the larger the income, the higher the tax rate.
Mm-hmm.
And the tax rate there is classified by single and married filing jointly. So singles are higher tax rate, and married couples are lower tax rate. So for I'm doing this in example of a single because any foreign citizen who is not living in the United States, it will always be classified as a single individual. So for singles, from 0 to $10,000, the tax rate is 10%. From $10,000 to 40,000 is 15%. From 40,000 to 80,000 is 25%. So each of the tranches of those $50,000 will be taxed at a specific tax level. So the first 10,000 and 10%, the second 50, the second from 10 to 40 at 15%, and the last portion from 40 to 50 will be taxed at 25%. So those are the rates that are inputted for each of the tranches of those $50,000. That's how taxes are calculated in the United States. So if there is out of the $50,000, there is a 30% withholding is 15,000. Sorry, 15,000. So 15,000. If those 15,000 are are higher than the calculation of the taxes, 10% for 10,000, 15% from 20 to 40, and then 25% from 40 to 50. If that calculation is lower than the $15,000 that are withheld, the IRS will give the refund to the person. But if the foreign owner has other income in the USA, in addition to the profits from that company, the refund will be lower. And if he has significant income, probably the refund will be zero. That's how taxes are calculated here. So again, if out of the $50,000 in a year, there is taxes already paid to the IRS. Remember that the owner, the IRS will, the LLC will need to withhold 35% of that money that is given to the foreign partners. So if there is $100,000 in a company, LLC, that is distributed to people, same example I had before, 35% over 100%, $100,000 is 35,000. So $35,000 for divided into two, there's two partners. 35% of our $100,000, $35,000 divided into two is 17,500. So $17,500 from one partner paid to the IRS, 17,500 for the other partner paid to the IRS. That money is given to the IRS before, through the year. So at the end of the year, those taxes are paid. If I am the partner, foreign partner, the partnership will give me two papers. Will give me a paper with $50,000 of profit that corresponds to me, and will give me another paper for $17,500 taxes paid. So I take those two papers, I file my income tax return, I file a request for a tax ID, and then the IRS has to give me back the money. But that happens at the end of the year. If that's my only income. Remember, the IRS is not gonna give me $17,500. The full amount that was withheld was not gonna give me because I have to pay some taxes. It's gonna give me the amount withheld minus the taxes over the $50,000, calculated at 10% for the first 10,000, that will be 1,000, 15% for the second from 20 to 40. So that will be 20 more at 15, it will be $3,000 more. So it will be 4,500. And then finally, 25% over the portion between 40 and 50, that will be 10,000, 2,500 more dollars. So that will be $5,000 that I have to pay. So the $50,000, according to the rates, will mean $5,000 in taxes. As the partner, as the LLC, the limited liability company, withheld 17,500, the IRS will give me 12,500 as a refund. That's how things work with the IRS.